All right, we had Jacy Jayne going 1-on-1 against Stephanie Vaquer. Fate influence been a thorn in Stephanie's side as she prepared to take out Jacy Jayne. Jacy Jayne held her own for a little bit. She had a good advantage over Stephanie Vaquer. But Stephanie Vaquer, she is pretty much the next premier girl after Giulia. She's looking good. And we have her. It was some good moments there. Jacy Jayne has good kicks off the apron. Stephanie was moving good. Jacy Jayne did a good job keeping up with her. So that was good. But it was some interference in the match. You had both Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley interfere, but it did not face Stephanie Nunn. She was able to defeat Jacy Jayne, and her and Fallon Henley was talking trash afterwards. Fallon Henley held her title and standing on top of the stage. But that was the end of that match. So we had that kicking off the show for NXT. And let's get on to the next match of the show. Now we had here, next match was Shannon Stacks versus Ridge Holland. Let's be honest, Shannon Stacks, he was no match for Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland's too much power. And I try to amp him up backstage before the match, the family, but he got a win over Shannon Stacks. We see Sean Spears and what's his name again? Not Briggs, the other guy. Oh, I can't think of his name. The guy next to Sean Spears, I forgot his name. He don't wrestle much anymore. He used to team with Josh Briggs, but he had him in that little group there. Shannon Stacks, he was no match. Let's be honest here, no match at all. Now we got here the championship summit. You have Roxanne Perez and Bayley going back and forth, trading insults. Bayley said that she plans on winning the NXT Women's Championship, be a 3-time NXT Women's Champion. I think first time ever. No one's ever held NXT Women's title 3 times, or twice. Charlotte Flair be one of them. Roxanne, Shayna Baszler, and I want to say, I think that's it. Maybe one more person I'm missing, but she planned on doing that. Bayley was telling Roxanne to shut up. And Giulia came out. She shut it down. And Charlotte Flair came out talking about, she likes Giulia, but Giulia is not better than her. She won't be no match for Charlotte. Charlotte will. She did challenge for the NXT Women's Championship last time she won the Women's Royal Rumble back in 2020, which is true. And she did went on to win it for a second time, defeating Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 36 that year. And she said she could do it again, teased it. And all afterwards in the ring, Cora Jade came out, attacked both Bayley and Giulia. She was going to attack Roxanne because Roxanne tried to insult. She said maybe Cora Jade could win the championship for once. I meant to say. Creating a lot of tension there. But that was a good segment as well. Very good segment of the NXT Wednesday Summit. Let's move on to the next match on the card. All right, we got here what else was a tag team match here. We got Sol Ruka and Zarya versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley of that stable. Sol Ruka and Zarya, they're pretty much overpowered team. They did have Sol Ruka got the flying style, Zarya got the power, but it looked like they was down at one point. Tatum and Gigi did everything they could. But it looked like it was an uncoordinated match. But at one point, but Sol Ruka hitting that Soul Snatcher was good. And that was it. Sol Ruka and Zarya, they did defeat Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. We'll see what other matches they do as a tag team. All right, we have one-on-one match: Kelani Jordan versus Petrovic. The theater from last week. Karmen was trying to thank Kelani for helping her. Kelani tapped into her real heel mode, a more dark character, as we've been saying for the past several weeks. Talk crap about her and Shanti's relationship, and Now, last week, Kelani distracted Jada Parker while she was wrestling Karmen, and Karmen was able to gain a victory over Jada this week. Now, this is crazy. Jada came out this time taunting Kelani Jordan, and Kelani did defeat after hitting two moonsaults on Karmen. But after the match, she attacked her. But since the ref saw that and tried to get Kelani off her, Kelani wouldn't stop. He reversed the decision, and it went from Kelani being the victory, at being a victor, and it went to Karmen. That really enraged Kelani Jordan, and her and Jada was staring down each other like crazy. So that was definitely wild. So we'll see what happens next from there. Definitely far from over. I can say that. Now let's get on to the main event of the show. Well, before we get there, we did have also an appearance. We had Fandango return, and he returned. Lexis King did his segment, and Lexis King talked. He was booed. Talk about he had to do what he had to do to keep his NXT Heritage Cup. Anybody challenged? Then that music hit. The crowd was surprised. Fandango, if you guys don't remember, he was the most overdue in the company. He had that, dance thing that wasn't supposed to work, was goofy, but the crowd sing along with it. Similar to Seth Rollins right now, it was kind of like that, but a much higher over with the crowd. And he came back. He's a part of TNA now. He's part of the system. He's known as JDC. And he said, Lexis King said, I remember you used with Tyler Breeze. And next week it will be JDC or Fandango challenging Lexis King for the NXT Heritage Cup on NXT. So that was good seeing him coming back. I ain't seen Fandango in WWE ring like forever. And he spent most of his career in NXT after being on the main roster. He, for guys who don't know, he made his main roster PLE or pay-per-view debut at WrestleMania 29, defeating Chris Jericho. So he was really over after that. But let's get to the main event. Main event, we have Femi and Trick Williams. Trick Williams going against 8 Down Under. Very dominant at one point. We saw the tension between Femi and Trick, both tagging each other, tagging themselves in. When Trick Williams was down for a while, and Femi got the hot tag, and then when he was going, Trick tagged himself back in. And at the end of the day, Eddie Thorpe showed up, interfered. He hit Trick Williams with a strap, costing the match. And Eddie Thorpe kept attacking Trick. Femi just walked away. But it allowed 8 Down Under to gain the victory. So 8 Down Under defeated Femi and Trick Williams. So with that being said, let's get on to the rating of the show. What do you guys think of everything that was covered? Main stuff that was covered. Let's see. I will give this show very good show. NXT always bring it home. 4 out of 5. A couple things I didn't, 1-2 things I didn't like. Some matches I didn't care for, but overall, we had appearance by Bayley again. Bayley's been doing the NXT date. She'll be at the next NXT PLE Vengeance Day in a triple threat for the NXT Women's title. Charlotte showed up. Fandango showed up. So very, very good show. Very good show. Very, very good show. I like this. Well, let's go on to next week's matches that I showed earlier. These are next week's matches. Now, Bayley says she was attacked by Cora. She wants a one-on-one match against her next week. Ava made that official. We got Ridge Holland challenging Tony D'Angelo next week. Then we also have a tag team match. We got Josh Briggs. I forgot the other guy's name. Triple threat tag team versus No Catch Quarter Crew versus Hank and Tank. So it was looking real good. Looking real good. So we'll see what's together from there. But other than that, I thought this was a very, very solid episode. I had no big issues with this episode. They did everything they could. NXT, they're really embracing this partnership, which I will talk more about. I really enjoyed that what NXT is doing with TNA superstars. And it ain't just WWE that's having, TNA people on their show. We also see now NXT people on TNA show, which is TNA Impact, which come on every Thursday. So let's see what people around the community was saying about the show. What did they rate it? Let's see. I'm gonna check and see what they have to say about it. What they think of the show. All right, we had 73% give it A. We had 20% give it B. 4% gave it C. 4% gave it D or F. So that's what people are thinking of NXT when it comes down to it. Now, guys, as usual, you can always cast in your votes. What do you think of this current episode of NXT? That was a good show, bad show. Love to hear what you guys have to say about it. It'd be amazing. We're definitely on the road to Vengeance Day. Definitely on the road to there. But let's move forward. Let's get on to what went wrong with NXT. What are the things I saw wrong with this episode I did not like? So we'll go over that real quick. All right. First thing I'll go over that I did not like about it. Pretty. I've been saying this, but I gotta say it again. Um, Rich Holland did win against Shannon Stacks. I know he's prepared to challenge Tony Angelo for his title. He still loses momentum. It's like this man's not been the same since Jacy went down. I know I said it before, but it needs to be said again because I just don't see how this man is going to rebound as a whole. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Maybe I'm missing something. I just don't see how he's going to regain the confidence and everything. They really brought him down, really didn't do nothing for him. But that's how I see it. You guys let me know if you see otherwise. But I just don't see it no more.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? You just made the list.
So that's one thing I saw wrong with this episode. Another thing I saw wrong. Charlotte Flair was her being on NXT. Her NXT was unnecessary. Now I understand Charlotte's the Women's Royal Rumble winner, the first two-time Royal Rumble winner. But since you already challenged for the NXT Women's Championship last time, and you did win, something no one's ever done. She's the first Royal Rumble winner of men or women's to challenge for the NXT Championship and win at WrestleMania. That was great when you did it back in 2020, but you're not going to do it again. It's clearly that you're going to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title. You have nothing else to prove as far as the NXT Women's Championship. Besides the fact from that, I can see Giulia giving Charlotte Flair that work. And beside from that, the NXT women have a way better roster now in 2025 than it was back in 2020 when you did challenge for that championship the first time you won the Royal Rumble. So we did not need to see Charlotte Flair on NXT, especially after we saw on Monday Night Raw. I get it, you want to Rumble, you want to challenge everybody, but some things are just obvious that's not going to happen, and this is one of them here.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? You just made the list.
So this was not totally ridiculous. Another issue I saw on NXT, and I'm getting real tired of this. I don't know if they have anything else. This is really getting on my nerves. I don't care if it's a match set up. I'm getting tired of this Eddie Thorpe dude. I'm getting sick of this dude. This man already got a championship match against Triple champion. However it ended, I don't care. Then you had a triple threat with himself and Trick and Oba, which Oba became champion at NXT New Year Evil. I don't leave this whole Trick Williams alone. You cannot beat this dude. And besides, he sucks. Let's call it what it is. Eddie Thorpe is trash. I don't like this dude. I don't like him at all. One of my least favorite people on the NXT roster.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? You just made the list.
Yeah, so I didn't like that at all. Now, that's all I have for what went wrong with NXT. However, since the episode was great, there are some things that went right with NXT, and we are going to talk about that now. And let's get into that because there's some things I thought that was impressive and some unexpected things that did happen on this current episode of NXT. Since we did it, like I said, we did have some appearances from Charlotte. I didn't like that appearance, but I did like this one. Unexpected was Fandango. I think him returning as a part of TNA NXT partnership was great. Then he's going to challenge for the the NXT Heritage Cup. So he say, I'm JDC. I'm here representing the system for TNA Wrestling. This is a good crossover. I'm loving this crossover. And we know it's a multi-year deal with TNA, but we'll talk more about that. But it was definitely unexpected. Yeet. So I like where this is going. This is a very, very good move. I'm waiting to see when we're gonna get Moose from TNA. He's the guy I'm really expecting to see next. I don't know how they're gonna play that out, but he's the next person I would love to see come up on a NXT ring, or vice versa. Maybe, just maybe, somebody from NXT step up and challenge him because he does hold, the TNA X Division Championship. I'm just saying, he does hold that title. And maybe someone coming over there, he come over. I could just feel it in my bones that Moose is going to show up next. We already had Jordan Grace, Joe Hendry, now Fandango, JDC. We gonna see Moose next at some point, or Masha Slamovich even showed up on an episode of NXT. He's a champion too, just not the men's champion. I got a feeling he's gonna pop up next, so I cannot wait till he shows up or someone challenges him on TNA Impact. I'm just saying. That's one thing went great. Another thing was tensions rise between Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. These two, remember, Roxanne was talking trash about Cora, saying maybe Cora finally gets to win a championship in that promo with Bayley. So she definitely called out, and this is after this promo.
My heroes were doing was just standing in my way so I don't surpass them. My vision is clear now. I'm going to go to Raw.
Now, Roxanne Perez, she said that she's going to go to Raw. I do expect before she does go to Raw, besides feuding with Bayley, which is so clear, obvious that's what's going to happen next, I do expect her to have a little small feud with Cora Jade before she's on her way out of NXT. And we know these two had a feud before. We know the history. Cora was heel, Roxanne was babyface, but it seemed like the roles reversed this time. Roxanne will be the heel, Cora Jade face. This is a good story here. I like where this is going. And I'm not gonna lie, Cora Jade looked good with the NXT championship belt in her hand. I like that too. So this is a win. Yeet. I saw that was good with this episode. Another thing I do like, if I haven't stated before, Ava as GM, I like her in this role. Now we know Ava, if you follow NXT, she was a wrestler. She was a part of the stable Schism with Joe Gacy and a tag team that's now in AEW. The Forgotten Sons. That's not their names now, but that was their names before. And that didn't work out. Forgotten Sons, their contract was up. They left. They didn't want to, they had disagreements with NXT. They went to AEW, and Joe Gacy moved on to the main roster as a part of YS6. That left Ava all alone, and they put in the GM role, and I think she's doing great. For example, here, Bayley, after she was attacked, she said, I want that be in a match, talking about Cora. And Cora said, Ava said, which one? And she married, you talking about Cora or Roxanne? And I thought that was funny. But this is a good role for her. One thing I like about this Ava GM role, I'm glad they're steered away from it. I'm getting tired of this whole assistant GM of Robert Stone and Stevie Turner. Quite annoying. We don't need no assistant GMs. Just keep the GMs. That's it. All this assistant GM is just a little too much. We used to see him all the time with Ava, but not so much now. But I like her in this role. Stay in that role, Ava GM, but do not wrestle. Yeet. All right, that's another thing I saw good with NXT. And one last thing, um, well, two more things actually. One thing I've been said this last week. If you guys remember, Stephanie Vaquer did a segment outside the NXT parking lot, and we all know the NXT parking lot is not safe. I said, "Where's Lola Vice?" For a split second, this is her. Now I thought it may have been Lainey Reed, and thought it was her, but that's Lola. Hair's done differently, and she was returned for a split second. She didn't say anything. She just looked at Stephanie a certain way. Now I'm gonna remind you of this still right here. Stephanie Vaquer does have a NXT Women's North American Championship match at Vengeance Day. We are all aware of that. Just to make sure we are aware of that, we do know that Stephanie Vaquer will be challenging Fallon Henley for that title. And we know that this has been going on for weeks of Fallon Henley and Stephanie. You know, Stephanie want to get her hands on Fallon. We know that's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We know that. We know that's been going on. We know that's the case. And it makes sense. It makes sense. They set the match is going down, which is great. I like where this is going. So it's a good thing that they're doing that. And I think Vengeance Day, like I said, is February 15th. Same day as in AEW Grand Slam episode. But the thing about it is that I'm concerned about. I'm kind of like Seth Rollins. I'm a visionary. I'm a visionary myself, I like to say, when it comes to storylines. I'm just saying, I got a feeling. I do have a very, very feeling in my gut that something's going to go down. I know we are all high on Stephanie Vaquer. I think she's a great talent. I'm not taking that away from her because she is. She's a great talent. I love what she's doing. I love what she does in the ring. I know that after Giulia, like I said before, we know that Stephanie's going to eventually capture NXT Women's Championship. But until then, she is currently going out for the Women's North American Championship. So we know that's the case here as well. And it makes sense why. It makes perfect sense. But there is a but. And I talked about this in my early prediction. We're gonna have and I may talk more about it again. But my fear is that I believe it's gonna happen. This is just my opinion on this. From this still that I see, and I'm normally spot on if you guys follow me. I'm normally spot on with this here. I believe when it comes to this match of Fallon versus Stephanie, this still here, Lola Vice is going to cost Stephanie Vaquer that match. And she's going to enter a rivalry with Stephanie. That's why Lola's been gone all this time. Remember, I've been saying, where Lola at? Where Lola at? We ain't seen her in weeks. Now she pops up, don't say nothing. That's like a heel type of thing. She's going to pop up during the championship match. Mark my words. But it's still a great story. Another thing I want to add, of course, at the end of NXT, the question is, of course, obviously, who? Who is this group here? It's not the Y6. It's someone in a bandana or do-rag and three other men. One of them got dressed. I don't know who this is. I don't know if WWE signed a great new group, another stable. Either way, as long as it's a great story, I'm all for it.
Yeet.
But I just want to notate that. So that's the only thing about that situation. I believe that, something's going on. We're going to see what's going on with that next. I don't know how they're going to do it. But other than that though, guys, I don't see what else could be done for that matter. But we're gonna see in this upcoming weeks. Maybe this group or whoever they are, maybe they show up at NXT Vengeance Day as well. Well, Vengeance Day gonna be something else. So I'm gonna say that right now. It will be something else. But that's all I have. Uh, le- um, that's the whole episode of NXT. Over Femi and Trick Williams face A Town Down Under and NXT Women's Championship Summit. Let's move on to current news before we move on to the bonus round. So let's do that. All right, the current news, let's talk about it. All right, current news here. We got for current news. It's I explained what I said about the Raw review, but now it's been reported now that Alexa Bliss is going to Friday Night SmackDown. We thought she was going to Raw. She went there because she went to SmackDown now. I guess Raw wasn't it. They've been doing a lot of last minute changes with Alexa. Remember, she reportedly took Shotzi's spot at the Royal Rumble at last minute at number 19, and now she's supposed to reportedly go to Raw. Now it's SmackDown. Like, I don't know which one is it. Seriously, what are y'all doing? I mean, what's going to happen over there? But that's my opinion on that whole situation there. I can't wait to see what she's gonna do on SmackDown. I thought she'd been a better fit for Monday Night Raw. I didn't never thought that would be make sense to put on that show unless she is really tied to the YS6. She does have that look, but we'll see what's going to go on next. We'll see what's going to take it from there. But you guys let me know. You like Alexa Bliss on SmackDown? Is this something you're looking forward to or what? We'll see. All right. Let's get to the bonus round here. In the bonus round, we're going to talk about TNA and WWE. Will WWE end up buying or already bought TNA? So let's talk about that. Give me a second. We'll get that. All right, we're gonna talk about will WWE end up buying or already bought TNA, or have they already secretly bought TNA? Now, I got a theory here. I've been saying this to myself. I think WWE kind of owns TNA or going to, and I got some factors back of what I'm saying. Thing about it is we see the factors here, and the proof is pretty much in the pudding. I mean, it's a good catchy thing. NXT I think that's a good look, good sound there. I think that will be helping for both companies as a whole. It'll help NXT as a developmental brand, and also will help TNA as a company. Because TNA, they recently went through some management changes. We know that they are owned now by Anthem Sports. We know that's going on, and I believe that, with them being a new company in this partnership, it's going to really help out a lot. Really going to help out a lot. And I think that'll be a great thing there. Now, the thing about it is, like I said, they're going through some big changes in the company. Big changes. And the thing about it is, since they're going through changes, and I'm talking about TNA. I'm talking about TNA. I will say that I will say that TNA, they having NXT people on this show is amazing. It's definitely going to help them out a tremendous amount of deal. We're gonna if we may if I mean people are seeing it now, but it's really going to help in the future. And we see this on both shows, or NXT being on TNA and they're being on their show. And of course, we just saw, this week alone, we just saw actually, Fandango from TNA being on the NXT episode, challenging for the NXT Heritage Cup. So we see a very good crossover. We see a lot of NXT on TNA product, and of course, vice versa. So this crossover is pretty much like every week. Every week now, we almost expect to see a TNA star pop up on NXT programming, and vice versa. That's for Tuesday for NXT, and then Thursday TNA Impact, we see NXT stars on TNA, and also of course at their PLE, which is big too. If you had told me this was going to happen, ever do a partnership with TNA WWE, I would never believe it. And another reason I think they own it too, TNA, they lost some talent due to new management. Now, if you guys don't remember, recently, very, very recently, they lost a couple people. They lost Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace to WWE, and but I'm talking about Josh and PCO, who also left. The guy that smashed the digital media championship at the GCW event. And the thing about it is, the reason that I'm exclude Jordan Grace because I think she's gonna go to WWE regardless. I think the reason some of these people, these stars have left TNA is because of new management. And what I mean by that is it ain't not just new management coming in and making changes. They was getting paid more money with the old management with Scott D'Amore, including Scott D'Amore as well. And when new management came in, they said, hey, some of these stars are getting overpaid, or if they were middle of a contract negotiation, like PCO stated in an interview with Fightful with Sean Ross. And also Scott D'Amore, they said reportedly was believed to be overpaid, and that's why he left TNA. But during the middle of that process, a lot of people were fans of Scott D'Amore, PCO, Josh Alexander, Moose, Jordan Grace, and since he's gone, they're going to leave too. So that caused TNA to have lack of stars, not as many. And who comes to take care of the situation? NXT. NXT fills that up. The people that they would have some voices or spots that were, need to be filled, NXT has replaced that void. So that's another thing too. Also, like I said before, great for both companies. And there's some more stuff I want to talk about as well. And I'm pulling information out. Well, I believe WWE may end up buying TNA, or just if they haven't already. We'll talk about it here. Says here is Endeavor buying TNA. Now, I said it back in 2023 December. TNA, a subsidiary of Anthem Sports Entertainment, a division of Anthem Sports Group, they partnered with Endeavor Streaming to deliver global on-demand streaming service TNA Plus. Now that was, of course, last month. And Endeavor Streaming is a parent organization of Endeavor. We know Endeavor owns WWE and UFC with the TKO. We know that just happened back in 2023. But there's some history here. Says here, as a part of the multi-year deal, that they will power Endeavor Stream will power TNA Plus F to deliver enhanced user experience to offense across top stream platforms, well mobile and connected devices. says here, the partnership combines TNA expertise with top professional promoter endeavor streaming parallel knowledge, marketing tools, because they had, before TNA Plus, it used to be TNA on YouTube, and that's a big upgrade. It said will leverage endeavor experience working with the world's biggest sports organization. Says that, and it also says it further grows fan base and digital revenues. So I believe that this is going to be a very, very good move. I think this partnership goes real well between these two. I believe they could end up owning them. Now, they don't have to own TNA. Remember, Endeavor does own WWE and UFC. They just made that merge with the TKO group holdings. They don't really need to, but it would definitely help. And what they could do, in my opinion, NXT is a developmental brand. Now, back in 2019, they tried to make it a third official brand, make the NXT men's and women's actual world titles, the same titles they would treat in the same sense as the WWE Championship and the WWE Women's Championship and the world titles, but it didn't work. And we know that's under Vince McMahon regime. I would say if they were to, the reason I'm saying be great for both companies, the whole reason I'm saying that this would be great for both companies. NXT, if they were to purchase TNA, what they can do, make NXT an official third brand again. Do that again, make an official third brand and make them world titles, since they have a plethora of good talent on there on the women's side, and they get some of the men's side of the men's roster and bring them over TNA to NXT. And then for a developmental brand, you could create that instead of NXT being a developmental brand, turn TNA into the developmental brand. They went from NXT to SmackDown and Raw. How about they do TNA first, and then they could go to NXT, Raw, or SmackDown? It's not a bad idea, but that's only if they haven't already, or if they end up buying TNA. So that's just a thought I have, and that's all I have for will WWE end up buying TNA? Have they secretly bought TNA already? Or will they end up buying them in the near future? You guys let me know what you think of this best case scenario, worst case scenario. Was this a great idea or not? Greatly appreciate it. Soon to reveal some popular guys. You guys click the links below. Until then, you already know what it is. OUT.
Something happened this weekend, and I have been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and